going live. Hello, YouTube. I'm Bruna, and I'm your hostess today. TNT, I'm going to explain about it really quick. It's a safe place. We are here to communicate, to speak in English, Portuguese, Italian, French, German, a lot of languages. We are not here to correct or to judge you, just a safe place to practice. This is not a class, this is an immersion. So we're going to speak in English 100% of the time. If you want to have access to classes, you can go to our website, talkandtalk.com.br. We are live on YouTube, so all the immersions, almost all of them are live. The only ones who are not are the ones for women and the tech immersion. And I think that's it. I'm going to split us in the breakout rooms now. So let's go. Let me see. I think I'm going to create 3 rooms, maybe. Then you can have more time to talk. If somebody leaves from your room, or if the room gets empty, you can go back. You can come back to the main room. Okay. Let me just fix things a little bit here. Let me see. Okay, guys, I'm going to. Okay, maybe I need to change something here. Move to. Let me see. I'm going to move someone to the other room. I'm just splitting us, okay, so that we can have a nice talk. Can you all see the questions? I will send. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I won't send them one more time. If you need any help in the, I'm going to split us right now. If you need any help in the breakout room, please just ask for help. There is a button. Don't forget to be respectful. Don't correct each other. And I really hope you enjoyed the conversation. At around 9:50, I will call everybody back to the main room. Then we can wrap this up. Okay? Let's go then, guys. I really hope you enjoy it. I'm gonna open the rooms. When you see the invitation, just click on the blue button. Let's go. If you didn't receive anything, this means you're going to be here in the main room with me. So in the main room, we have Atamis, Marina, and Sabrina. Let's start introducing ourselves. Atamis, can you start, please?
Yes. Hello, everyone. Good morning. How are you today? I'm Atamis. I'm 36. I'm a dietitian and I am an artist. The main things I do. And then I'm an English teacher as well, occasionally. And yeah, that's it for today.
That's good. A lot of today we have a lot of teachers here, and I chose you to be here in the main room with me because we are talking about correction, and I want to know from you your opinions on it. So thanks for sharing it, Miss Sabrina. What about you? Can you introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi, everyone. I am Sabrina. I am 20 years, and I am a theater student, and I am in this journey to improve my English skills. So I am here.
That's good. Thank you so much. And Mari, what about you?
About me, my name is Marina. I'm 24 years old, and I'm a Portuguese teacher and a French and English teacher sometimes. I love to learn new languages, and that's why I'm here, and I'm really happy to be here sharing our experiences, talking with you.
That's great. It's a pleasure to have you here. I think it's the first meeting we can, like the first meeting that you're here with me, like my meeting. So I'm really, really happy to have you. And I am Bruna. I live in São Paulo. I also work as a teacher, as a community manager here on TNT. What else? I love dancing, listening to music. Studying language too. Now I'm in this journey to learn Spanish, and I think that's it. Yesterday I've been to my first charla. It was really I don't know, I was really nervous, but it was nice at the same time. So I think that's it. So let's get started with the first question. That is, What comes to mind when you hear the word correction? Do you ever think correction activities are a waste of time? Because sometimes I feel some students don't want to be corrected during the class, mainly when we are talking about like private lessons, they think it's a waste of time. So like, can we do this another time? Can you correct my stuff at home, and then you just send me. But I feel it is important, sometimes to have these moments of correction. What is interesting is that sometimes when I think of the word correction, I see as something bad or something that can be seen as rude, like depending on the voice tone or on the way we are being corrected, it sometimes can be in a negative way. I don't know how to express, but I think that's it. How do you feel it, Mari?
For me, I have two opinions. The first one as a teacher. When I'm teaching a group, sometimes I feel like nervous about correction, because if I have a group and I correct one student in front of all the students, sometimes it can be my student can be shy, or sometimes that's not good. When I have a private class, I think it's good to correct when they need, because I think that when we speak something wrong, we will continue speaking wrong again and again and again, and I think it's good. And as a student, I like to be corrected as well. I think it's a good thing, but not all the time. It's important sometimes, but not all the time. What
I feel
about
you.
you, Bruna?
Yeah, no, I totally feel you. As a student, I think it is important to get some feedback from the things we are saying or we are studying, but like maybe by the end, like not to keep interrupting us at the time we are saying. I think it helps. I really like this feedback. What about you, Sabrina? How do you feel? What do you think of this word?
I don't think a lot of things about correction, but correction activities, in my opinion, it's something important because I am I'm a student, English student, and I have a teacher and she corrects my activities. And this is important to me. I like to see feedbacks, to know if I am in progress or in regress in what I am doing and what I am learning. So to me, in this case, correction activities and to be corrected by a teacher in this situation, it's important.
Very good. Yes. What about you, Atamis? How do you feel?
What it brings to my mind? It brings. I think when I hear the word correction, I the other side, the opposite is mistaken or wrong. So if someone is correcting me, it means I am mistaken. Or so it's that, as you said before, it's not a good feeling. Like we don't like to be mistaken or wrong. We like to know everything pretty much, but we don't. But I don't think correction activities are a waste of time. I don't like when people correct me in a place that's not allowed. For example, here on the live conversations, I think is rude, to say the minimum. But in a class, as Marina said as well, you can be correct without pointing the person like you are wrong. because I have a friend. She said she is traumatized of learning English because in the high school, her teacher used her as a bad example. Like she used to ask her to read some things in English and said, that's the way you shouldn't do. That's horrible. That's like, so I don't think I always, when I'm correcting in the classes, I always say, in the past, I used to do this, so I've learned, and now I do this way, and because someone correct me, because I learned by myself anyway. So I think use yourself as an example and not like I know everything and you know nothing. Showing the way, like if I learned, I believe everyone can learn. You know, showing the process, the journey is not like you are dumb or something like that. It's like just you are just in a part of the process that I'm not anymore. So I don't know, something like that.
Yes, definitely. Totally feel you. And yes, it's interesting what you're saying, because when I, like, the school I used to work last year, we couldn't correct the students, like showing them where, like, oh, you can you do this or can you do that, mainly when it was a group. And nowadays I still do it, like with here on TNT with some students, mainly when they are reading, you know, like, okay, like tipo, something like, okay, let's do it again, you know, like something like this. But it may not be the best way, but I try to be nice, you know, and not to expose them, just show them how to pronounce it, you know, or how to use it. Maybe it's also about the way you are saying, right? Just like these your friend, her experience was horrible. Yeah. I want to change the order a little bit. I think I would just go with number 3 now, and then we can go back to number 2. So what kind of correction do you like most? Do you prefer self-correction, peer correction, or teacher correction? Like, is it okay when your friend or your classmate corrects you, or just someone who is a teacher, or do you prefer to correct yourself after some time? Sabrina, what do you think?
I like when I am studying something and I have the conscious and I know what mistakes I committed. So I prefer self-correction, but I also like teacher correction because another feedback, it's good to know if I am really right and not is just a thing of my mind. But in this case of studies, both thing it's good to me, self-correction and teacher correction.
Very good. I think peer correction can be a little bit delicate sometimes, you know. I don't know. Let me hear from the other girls what they think about it. What is your favorite kind of correction? What do you prefer?
No, none of them. I don't like to be corrected. That's the truth. That's the nude truth. At the time, like when I like to realize myself, you know, like, that's another way to do it. But sometimes you need someone to actually pointing and say, that's why you are mistaken, that's why you are not doing properly. Because sometimes you don't realize what you are doing wrong. And it's interesting because I planned all my classes of July already, and it's all about the Brazilian common mistakes. So I think it's nice because it shows that's not you. How I am. I have English so hard to know, to learn, and it's like because our culture, the way we talk, we transfer to other language or other things. So it's our view as a group, you know. So I think it's interesting, like, okay, I do this. So every Brazilian, or the most of them, do this. It's not me. So it's a way to learn, to teach, maybe to show. But teacher corrections, it depends. If I am in a class, I'm there because I want to learn. So I allow people to, I let people correct me, but I don't like I say I like, but like my husband, he always correct me about my, not anymore, but in the beginning, the he paints, so I don't. So he like, that's you should do this way, and I didn't like, but I used later the techniques he showed me. So I don't like, but I accept.
Yes,
So
I feel
yeah.
you. Yeah. I am still thinking of peer correction, you know, because I think it can be really complicated sometimes, mainly when we are talking about languages, depending on the way you correct your classmates, it can be really, really complicated and really disrespectful too. So because you're not trained to correct someone, right? Like you don't know how to do it the best way. So I think we should be careful. But I agree with you guys, Atamis and Sabrina. I think I like self-correction too. Usually when here on TNT, like sometimes I'm just watching myself or like listening to the meetings I am part of, and I'm like, oh, I should have said something, or I should have said this in a different way. I wasn't that clear. So I think being live helps a lot too in the self-correction process for me. And what about you, Mari? How is it for you?
I agree with you. I think that self-correction is really important. Sometimes we listen a lot of people speaking different languages, but we don't listen ourselves. So that's really interesting. I'm studying Chinese, so I love to record audios to listen myself, to hear if my pronunciation is good. I think it's a good way. And as you said, like being live is good. We can listen ourselves sometimes. We didn't say something we would like. We couldn't express ourselves well. So that's a good thing. But when I'm in a class, I like to be corrected as well. I like teacher correction, and I'm that kind of person. When I see my mistakes, I'm not disappointed with these. When I see my mistakes, I'm that kind of person. I love challenges. If I see my mistakes, I see I have a lot to learn, and I will keep going learning. And so sometimes when I see my mistakes, it motivates me to learn more and more and more, because I love challenges, and we always want to know, to have a feedback about our process, about our journey learning something. So I like both self-correction and teacher correction, and I agree with you that peer correction is a little bit complicated.
Yes, very good. Maybe we should learn from you, right? That accepting it's okay to make mistakes. Not always easy for me too. Sometimes I am a bit hard on myself, you know, like, oh, I need to be perfect. I can't make mistakes, you know. I need to do my best. But yeah, maybe not maybe it is making mistakes is part of the process, right? So really important. Thank you so much for sharing, Mari. So let's go to the next one. I'm going back to number 2 now. How do you feel when a teacher or boss corrects you in front of the class or in front of your coworkers? And what would be the best way to tell them, right? To tell them you don't like this type of correction. Like, how can we do it? Mainly when we are younger, it's difficult, right? I don't know if I would feel comfortable telling them, like, you shouldn't do it. For those who are not that close to me, I'm really bad at telling people I'm not liking what's happening. I usually let things go and I keep things to myself. So let's hear from you. Artemis, what do you think?
How do I feel? I don't like it. I don't like to be incorrect in any situation in front of other people. It's a little bit worse. And I had a boss. She used to write letters and put them on my table, to everyone's table actually, and everyone could read. Like, I would like to do and I thought, like, it's unprofessional, this kind, when they have a boss or something. A teacher, it depends how they do it, like, as as the story I told you about my friend, that's not a good teacher. So a good teacher is a person who is learning during the classes. We don't know everything. So, and yeah, what the best way to tell that you don't like? I think you have to just say it. But if you could send an email, maybe a private, or if you can explain me how before correct me, because sometimes you do things wrong because you don't know how to do, and you have to. So maybe you should be taught before. So I don't know. It depends on the situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you so much. Mari, what about you?
I agree with Atomis. I think that about this example you mentioned, that's not a good teacher. That's definitely not a good teacher. I think this is not good. And I'm like you, Bruna. I don't know how to express myself when I don't like something someone did with me. I don't know how to say I don't like it. Please don't do it this again. I'm terrible with this. So sometimes I don't like, but I can't say anything. I just breathe and I keep going. What about you?
Go ahead, Mari.
What about you, Bruna? You have already said something.
Yeah, kinda. Yeah. I don't feel comfortable too. I think this is not the best approach when it comes to correction. And I don't know what will be the best way, but Atamis gave a great idea. Sending an email would be great. Yeah, or I don't know, trying to talk to them by the end of the class or of the meeting, when you have some time alone. This may be a good way. Sabrina, what about you? How do you feel when this happens? What do you think would be the best way to deal with it?
It's second question.
Yes.
I remember a situation that I was corrected by a teacher, but it wasn't about an activity correction. It about other thing, are a little unnecessary, and she corrected me, and I feel horrible, embarrassing in front of my classmates. Was a situation really dedicated to me, and my teacher was really huge the way she correct me. And I think sometimes the teacher lost the mind and think he's the boss of the class. I always accept correction in activities because students are always committed mistakes, and especially in homework, in exams. It's good in this case, but exist other situations in class, like when a student are making a mess in class, that the teachers trying to correct them. And it's how can I say, available. It's good when they do it in a good way, when they know how to talk with the students. But depending of the way they trying to teach it or correct, can be the situation worst. But in my case, I feel horrible sometimes. Certain correction, it's not acceptable to me.
I got you. Yes, totally feel you. Totally agree. Thank you so much for sharing. Let's see the next one, guys. There are so many questions I would like to ask you. Let me see, maybe number 5. What things are important for a correction activity to be successful? Like, do you prefer when someone tells you the mistakes you made, or to guide you, like, okay, do you remember, like, if it's, I don't know, if it's something about, if it's something you already know, just to remind you that, like, oh, do you remember this and that? What do you think is the best way for you, attempts?
Well, as a teacher, what I try to do is observe, like watch what they are, like pay attention, and make this a new subject. So like as a class subject, so I can bring the mistakes to a subject without saying you or you, but and the person can realize by herself, himself, anyway. And I think it's a good way because they're not pointing. So, well, yeah, I do this in a different way, so maybe I should change in that. If she's saying that's the correct way. And but yeah, I don't know. As a musician, I was be corrected. I have a lot of times. I've learned. I was in a orchestra. I didn't have any experience as a singer, and I don't know how they accepted me there. So I was there with people, very experienced people, musicians and everything. So they correct me things they couldn't do, like sing. They couldn't sing, but they said, if like they showed me in a guitar or on a cello how to do the, and okay, maybe yes, we have to be open to learn as well. So if I don't like to be correct, I will not, I'm not gonna learn anything. So I don't know.
Yes,
It's
good.
complicated.
Yes, it is, because at the same time we don't want to make mistakes. They are important for the learning process too. So maybe the balance, right, is the best way. Sabrina, what do you think?
I think the teacher to for correction activity to be successful, and the teacher can point out the right point that the student commit, and also the mistake, the both things, because this can be more acceptable to the student. But I think in this way, following this way, and to be kind with the student and to be clear about what's going on about the mistake and point the mistake and teach it how to correct this in the activity.
Good point, too. Good point. Yes. I like to when like now that I'm taking Spanish classes, I think it is nice when my teacher shows me, like, okay, you're doing this. Don't forget you have already learned this and that, and you can do it this way. So not just telling me you made this mistake, but guiding, like, okay, remember this and that. So you can say it this other way, showing examples. It's a good way to, I like it. What about you, Mari?
I think that I agree with Atamis when I observe mistakes. I love to bring it as a subject for next classes. For example, I observed that people are struggling a little bit with past tense, especially irregular verbs. So I'm preparing something about this for our next class. I think it's a good thing. And I'm also a student, and today I'm really sleepy because I wake up at 6 a.m. Yesterday I slept late and I woke up at 6 a.m. and I had 2 English classes with they are training teachers for TESOL certification. And one thing I like the most about their method is like when they send us a task or an activity and we practice this task together, and then we practice together. They don't like, oh, your mistake, you're not, your answer is not correct. They just show the correct answer, and if your answer is correct or not, and you can see your mistakes and learn without being shy, like, especially because it's a group class. I think it's horrible to be corrected in front of people. Like if it's a private class, it's okay, you're just with your teacher, but in front of a group, sometimes it's complicated. So that's it. I think it's good to bring as a subject in the future and practice an activity about these. That's what I think.
Okay. Thank you so much. This is a really good point. Well, I want to skip to number 7 now. Do you have an example of how a mistake your teacher corrected stuck with you and you never forgot it? It can be in English or something else in Portuguese, any other learning experience you had. I'm going to start with this one. For me, this may be that thing depend on something when this is really we always say depend of something, and usually when it's something I say a lot, like really often, and someone corrects me, I feel like, okay, I can't do it wrong again because I know I do it a lot. So with depending, it's something really, really common. I usually do with good too, like good at something. I was used to saying I'm good in. Oh gosh, yeah, all these just like Atami said, these mistakes we usually do in English, because we are just trying to transfer the language, and this is something I think I will never forget. What about you, Sabrina?
7 questions.
Yes.
Um, we are humans. We are in this world, and we can commit mistakes. And I remember a situation when I was, I think, in 5th grade, and I did something wrong. I was with a rubber, and I throw the rubber inside the mouth of my classmate. And my teacher saw this, and she got it really wrong, but she was really rude, and that she started uh, perseguir. And I got really traumatized by this, and I never ever forget this what happened in that day.
Oh gosh, you threw the rubber in your friend's mouth. Sabrina, oh my gosh, that's serious. Okay, I can imagine this moment, and I'm sorry that your teacher kind of followed you or tried to, I don't know, to keep punishing you somehow. Mari, what about you?
About me, when I had my first English course, and we were learning about comparison, and we had a lot of mistakes, like today there is more hot than yesterday, something is more better, and then things like that. And we had a lot of classes about this. That's why I don't forget about these, about the more hot, more cold. I don't. So comparison is something, we made a lot of mistakes, and she bring us a lot of classes about this. That's why I can't forget about these subjects in English. And I remember something also really interesting, about someday. I remember I was in a meeting with Atomis, and we were talking about something, and I said a wrong word about indigenous people, and she corrected me. And so every moment I heard the word indigenous, I remember Atomis. So I can't forget I can't forget about this.
Yes, that's nice.
Sorry.
No, it's big, but
But it's
it,
good.
yeah, it is a good correction. We are used to say Indian, right? Uh,
Indians.
and I've
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of times you like Indian, and yeah, very good. Atamis, what about you? Is there any moment?
All my mistakes, I remember the occasion, all of them. I think, and that's good to teach as well, because I say to, like, I had this, always have a story about it. something correct. Someone corrected me about this when I was doing this. So but I remember one wasn't my mistake. My mistake was my colleague. When I take a course, like I take two months of English course, when I was 15 and something like that, 16. And we were, that's, I don't think that's right, but we were translating words, like just words. And the teacher asked, what was vacation? And my colleague was so excited to say, she said, vocação. I'll never forget this. I'll never forget. Because, and what she realized at the time, she said, like, no, sorry, it's not this. But it just jumped off her mouth. And it was funny. It was really funny. And I remember that. And my mistakes, all of them. You can ask me about all of them.
That's nice. And yes, it's interesting to see how we and how students relate some words in Portuguese to the ones in English. I love it. I think it's really, really nice. Let's see the next one. Number 9 then, guys. Do you have any strategies to correct your own mistakes when it comes to English? Share them with us. How do you like to correct? Like, I don't know if nowadays you have someone to correct you, but I don't. I don't have anybody to correct my mistakes. So what I try to do is to watch my meetings here on TNT or try to repeat when I'm listening to something, when I'm watching something, I just try to copy the rhythm, the words, and I also like to write some sentences too. I have a notebook where I write some new words, new expressions, and this is my self-correction process. And I think that's it. What about you, Mari?
About me, I think it's good when we have someone to correct us, but when I don't have, nowadays I like to practice writing in English. I'm trying to practice as much as possible because I'm not really good with writing, even in Portuguese. So when I'm trying in English, I struggle a little bit. For example, last weekend I was writing about the environment, about things like that, greener ways of things like that. I was writing down, and I struggled a little bit. Oh my God, I don't have any ideas to write about this subject. Sometimes we don't have ideas to write, and that's why I struggle even in Portuguese to write. And also I try to, I think it's good to have these conversations here also, because even in Portuguese, sometimes I have difficulties to express myself. Sometimes I have a lot of things in my mind, but I can't express everything I have in my mind. So I think it's really good. And I try to listen myself, to read what I'm writing. And I like to, like, we have some softwares to correct mistakes. So I like to write down and copy my text and see the correction. Sometimes I see something wrong and I learn a lot with them.
That's good, Mari. I loved it. A lot of nice tips. When it comes to writing, I'm also terrible. And this is something I really need to practice more often, writing more. Um, I don't know. I think sometimes the spelling is a bit challenging for me, like some words, so really important tip. Thanks for sharing. Atamis and you.
I have a software. His name is Nick. He corrects me. My husband. Yeah. I normally ask, like, I tell something asking, like, and I say the word, like, it's a structure, and if it's right, yes. It's like if when I'm not sure about it, I say asking with this intention, and I see myself doing this less and less because I'm learning. So, and I study a lot English. I do study a lot, and that's it. I live in a place everyone speaks English. I have no Brazilian friends or anyone to talk. I talk to Brazilian people just on online, and so I can kind of I have an option to I forget the word, the time I want to speak Portuguese, pretty much that. When I'm usually when I'm tired of English or anything. So yeah, I study a lot, and I ask and correcting, and I listen to a lot of podcasts, a lot. So, and sometimes I watch my my meetings as well, but I stopped because I was saying if I'm saying my mistakes, everyone is seeing on YouTube. So I stopped because I was feeling down about it. So sometimes I watch it, sometimes I don't. It just
Yes.
sometimes you have to let it go, the mistakes, because you feel like, oh, I made a mistake here, I made a mistake there. So and yeah, you drive yourself crazy.
I totally get you. Yeah. Thank you. And Sabrina, last but not least, what about you?
It's the 8th question.
9th. Do you have
9.
any strategies to correct your own mistakes when it comes to English?
I have some strategy of exists. I don't know everything in English, and I am far away of this. So when I find me in the situation that I am in doubt about, I say, for example, I send this say for a site where exists a lot of people who can correct my essay for free. And so I send my essay and then I check the feedback, and this the more easy form to me learn and correct my mistakes is when other people who knows more than me correct this. But it's my strategy. Other people correct me because I don't know what I know. It's very important.
Very good. Since you're answered this, Sabrina, I want to ask you the last question. Would you like to be corrected during the meetings here on TNT? Like, what do you think of this idea? You know, not during the meetings, or not like if there was a possibility, you know, of getting corrected here. What do you think would be the best way to do it?
I love it. I would love this because I am accepting all corrections possible when this is related with my English learning process. This is a thing that I am really open to be correct because I committed a lot of mistakes, especially in grammar. So this is not a problem to me to be correct. It's a tool to me improve and
Great. Okay.
progress.
That's good to know. What about you, Nondas? Welcome back. And I will go straight to the point, you know, because I want to hear from all of you. So I want to ask you the last question. Would you like to be corrected during the meetings here on TNT? And what will be the best way to do it? Maybe by the end or during the meeting? What do you think?
Great. I just answered this question in the breakout room. So to be honest, I wouldn't like to be corrected here. And I feel comfortable here because of that, because normally when you are speaking and when you are learning, you are not perfect. So when you try speak, for example, normally you will make a lot of mistakes, and if the person break the discussion a lot of all the time, you don't improve. So it's important to correct, but maybe the best way to correct another people is when this person asks for help. So you can help for how can I say this sentence, or how can I put this word in this sentence. So that's, for me at least, is the best time, the best way to correct another people. And here I feel comfortable here because of that too. So yeah, I like this place and I like how this community work. That's all.
Very good. Thank you so much for sharing. You brought a great point too. I agree with you that it's a good way not being corrected here. Charles, what do you think? Maybe what if we could correct, or if we could have someone correcting you after the meetings, you know, not here? Would this be a good idea for you?
I guess the formula from TNT it's a red, and I think TNT works well, and I think we don't need change anything. So I think I skip a little about your question, but I think I can answer. So I think it's okay. We are in one respectful environment here. And I think we need to keep, like Epaminondas said, I'm here because of this. And one more time, I would like to tell you, it's a pleasure share one more room with my tutor, Marina Luna. Yes, that's it.
That's so sweet. Thanks so much, Charles, for answering. Mari, would you like to say something? Go ahead if you want to.
Oh, I just would like to say thank you. Thank you so much, Charlie. Thank you so much. I really appreciate to be here, and I agree with you. I think we don't need any changes. I think it's a good environment to I think we already have a lot of courses here where people are being corrected all the time, but they are not really learning. So that's the advantage about TNT. I really like this. We don't need to be corrected.
That's good. Thank you so much. I will ask Cassiano now. What do you think, Cassiano? What do you think? Maybe after the, just a second.
No
I
problem.
will just ask him that, then I call you. Go ahead, Cassiano.
Yeah, so yes, I always waiting for someone to correct my mistake, because I guess when I get at this point, I improve a lot, you know? It's doesn't matter if you just embarrassing and, you know, embarrassing correction or, you know, bad correction, but it's improving myself. And I always struggling to be better than now. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, that's good. Atamis, go ahead.
I would say I agree with everyone here, because said these meetings, this format of TNT, it's great because because we are not corrected during the meeting, because we have to make the talk flows. And I agree with that. But I would like to be correct after. Maybe I can like get this record, and a teacher say, if I want, I can demand this, you know, like claim for this, like, oh, I would like to pay to be correcting these mistakes, and the teacher can watch me and say, it's not during the meeting,
During,
I
right?
think,
Yeah.
but maybe meeting with less people, like 4 people at least, at the maximum of people, and some teacher watch and try to correct me and give me feedback, like, oh, this point, like none does do this with our our photos, like you have to do this, your posture, I like it, I love it. So but just with me, and like I would like this because sometimes you don't see your mistake, but if someone interrupting you all the time, we don't improve as well. So maybe after the meeting with the recording and everything.
Totally agree with you. And I think this maybe following the same idea we have here, you know, not being corrected during the meetings, but after this with the recordings, it will be great. From my perspective too, I think Nondas, do you agree with now? Like if it were like by the end of the meeting,
Well,
will this
I
maybe
agree. I
Go
agree
ahead, Camila.
with her, because I also have participated from a conversation when in a club, and they give general feedbacks on the end, like not directly from the person, but wow, someone I working was searching for this word, and they type in the chat the word they are searching for. I think this is good because you don't will feel um, shy because of that, but will also improve your listen your speaking skills.
Totally agree with you. Thank you. And let's hear from Talita. What about you, Talita?
Okay, I love the way Cinity works. I have participated in other kind of conversation, other courses, but I had never felt so comfortable as I feel here because we have people with different levels. And I find that it's great to be corrected, but maybe we need to do this in the correct time. I agree with everyone that says maybe in the end, for example, of the meeting, because the idea here is try to speak. It's interesting because sometimes we can realize the mistakes you are doing during our conversation, right? Sometimes I say something and I know that I made a mistake in my conversation because generally we have more knowledge about grammar and other aspects of our English, but generally the biggest challenge we have is try to speak. So I think it's not good to stop all the time because it I don't know how to say that, but it stops the flow of the conversation. But it's great to be corrected, for example, in the end, or if we want to, I don't know, but I don't have problems with that, but I think it's more important to keep talking. I don't know if
Yes.
I was clear.
No, you were completely clear. Yes. Guys, okay, I think that's it. I would like to thank you so much for sharing your ideas, and your opinion really matters for us. So I just want to ask you to rate this meeting. I've just sent the link to the survey. It's really important to hear from your feedback. And I'd like to thank you so much for sharing. The ones I didn't ask, please, if you want to answer the last question in the feedback, it will be a pleasure. Don't forget, if you're still part of the free plan and if you want to become a pro student, you're going to have access to all the questions. Previously, you have access to all the classes. You can watch the video I sent to. You have access to mentorships with Philip for a really low price. Like, it's really like a different and cheap price when compared to all the courses and to the number of classes you have here. If you're still not part of the plan, consider this. Okay, I think that's it, guys. I really hope you have a great day. Thank you so much for coming, and I'll wait for you next week too. Bye.